to Comrade D. Raja for his speech. Now, I would invite Comrade Dipankar Bhattacharya, General Secretary, CPIML, Liberation, to address this gathering.
Comrade Manik Sarkar, President of the inaugural session to the 24th Congress of the CPIM, Comrade Prakash Karat and other members of the central leadership of the CPIM, Comrade D. Raja, Comrade Manoj Bhattacharya, Comrade G. Devarajan, veterans of the communist movement and delegates to the 24th Congress, progressive citizens from Madurai and from other parts of Tamil Nadu. Vanakkam and a very good morning to you all. On behalf of the Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninist, the party Central Committee and its entire membership, I stand here to express our warm revolutionary greetings to the 24th Congress of the CPIM. In today's gathering, we all are missing Comrade Sitaram a lot. Comrade Sitaram was not just a leader of the CPIM for decades. As a public speaker, as a writer, as a parliamentarian, since the late 1980s, I can remember Comrade Sitaram as a very consistent fighter against the fascist project of the RSS, especially since December 6, 1992, and all the more so since 2014 with the onset of the Modi-Shah Yogi era. He was not only warning us against the escalating fascist offensive in the country, but he was always trying to seek common grounds to forge the broadest possible unity against this fascist offensive. I pay my heartfelt homage to Comrade Sitaram and all departed stalwarts of the CPIM and the Indian Communist Movement. Comrades, we all realize that in last year's Lok Sabha elections, in spite of the continuing assault on the Constitution, in spite of the relentless subversion of the institutions, and in spite of subversion of the election process itself, India, I mean the country as well as the India electoral bloc, we managed to deliver a few powerful blows to the BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The country denied the BJP its independent majority. But yet, the Modi government has survived. The government is back in power for the third successive term, and we can feel that the fascist offensive is escalating with every passing day. The government is out to crush democracy and destroy every semblance of secularism and federalism in our republic. So in this 75th year of the adoption of the Constitution and the foundation of the Republic, we must therefore, we the people of India, must therefore resolve to unite ever more closely and fight with ever greater courage, strength and determination this fascist offensive. We in the left camp are of course united on a whole range of issues, and we are together in a whole range of battles. We are together in the battle against the attempted corporate takeover of agriculture, We are together in the fight against privatization and the draconian labor codes. We are together in the fight against the new education policy, which threatens to take education away from the reach of the poor, of the deprived sections of the people, and to regiment India's campuses and curricula in a way to suit the Hindutva agenda and to stifle every voice of dissent and opposition. But today I would like to briefly draw your attention to certain other issues which I think deserve our urgent attention. Amit Shah has set a deadline by March 2026 to make India Naxal free. As we assemble here in Madurai, perhaps we will get to know that there is an encounter going on, a fake encounter going on somewhere in Chhattisgarh. They call it Operation Kagar, the final mission. And this is already, there are figures of several, including perhaps more than 100. Operation Kagar since December 2023, when the BJP returned to power in Chhattisgarh. And I did not tell you that this is bound to be replicated across India, everywhere. This is a savage war on India's indigenous people, Adivasis, on our resources for corporate plunder. This is an ideological witch hunt, which is not just against Maoism or Naxalism, which is bound to attack every ideological stream and every stream of political opposition in the country, which dares to question and oppose the fascist forces in power. So this is why I think we must call for, fight for an immediate halt to this reign of extrajudicial violence, killing, and ideological witch hunt, and call for immediate release of all our activists who are languishing in jail in fabricated cases, whether the Delhi riots or Bhima Koregaon or any other fake case in any part of the country. We must demand immediate release of all our prisoners of conscience, political activists who are languishing in jail. Islamophobia, it has become an undeclared core principle of governance in India today. The state continues to target the Muslim community in the name of Uniform Civil Code or in the name of Waqf regulation. The bill probably is going to be placed today in Parliament. So while the state continues to target by invoking various measures of uniformity, the state-sponsored private militias and mobs, they are targeting mosques, they are targeting tombs, they are targeting every sign of Muslim cultural identity or historical presence in this country. And this is going on. It started as mob lynching. Now it has taken the form of bulldozer Raj, where the state itself is organizing and celebrating this reign of anti-Muslim violence. We can see in Uttarakhand, where we see the first model of the Uniform Civil Code, that this is not just about targeting a particular community in the name of uniformity. It is a blow to the very idea of interfaith and intercaste marriages, and it challenges, it negates every constitutional freedom in this country for consenting adults to enter into live-in relationships. So this battle for secularism today cannot be just about a wish for communal harmony. We have to be ready to confront the state and combat this vicious Islamophobia at work in the state. The propaganda machinery of the Modi regime and the Sangh BJP brigade, they had built up a myth around the so-called enhanced international stature of India under the leadership of Narendra Modi. Now, recent developments have shattered this myth completely. We can see the government of India now shamelessly capitulating to the Trump presidency, be it the question of the humiliating manner of deportation of Indian citizens or the tariff threat that has grave implications for our trade, for our domestic economy, especially agriculture and the manufacturing sector. No previous government in India has hurt India's national pride and national interests as badly, as shamelessly as the current dispensation is doing. Now, this Modi government's capitulation to the Trump mask dispensation, support to the Netanyahu regime, even as it goes on waging a genocidal campaign against Palestinians in Gaza and now increasingly in the West Bank. Now, these are not just foreign policy concerns for us. India's global image is very much linked to our internal identity. 75 years ago, when the Constitution was adopted and the Constitution proclaimed India as a sovereign, democratic, socialist, secular republic, it was made possible by the freedom movement, which had given shape to a kind of nationalism which was essentially secular in character and anti-imperialist in its content. And today, fascism seeks to redefine this nationalism in terms of Hindu supremacist majoritarianism, which is subordinated to a corporate oligarchy under this India's new billionaire Raj, where Adani's interest becomes India's interest and any expression of dissent becomes anti-national. The challenge facing us today is to win this battle of nationalism by upholding India's culturally diverse and harmonious character and keeping the interests of the people at the center. With the fascist aggression escalating by the day, the need for urgent resistance cannot be overemphasized. We are now in the centenary year of the Communist Party of India. And incidentally, this also happens to be the centenary of the RSS. All through India's freedom movement and the subsequent decades of parliamentary democracy in independent India, the communist ideology has fought relentlessly against the fascist design of the RSS. For large parts of these 100 years, the RSS remained quite isolated. But today, as it operates from the vantage position of state power, it is doing everything it can to embed and entrench itself firmly in every domain of the state and every sphere of the society. The electoral strength of India's communists has, of course, suffered some major setbacks in recent decades. But we must not let that weaken the communist resistance to the fascist threat. With closer unity and cooperation in all spheres of collective action, today's generation of inheritors of India's rich and glorious communist legacy can surely turn the tables on the fascist forces. Despite all our historical differences, we in the CPIML believe and look forward to working together with the CPIM and other sections of the communist movement in India more closely than ever before in a spirit of warm cooperation and comradely understanding to fulfill the collective aspirations of the people and meet the challenges of the day. I wish the 24th Congress of the CPIM every success in this critical phase of India's progressive democratic movement. We are in an unprecedented situation. There is no phase in the past history of independent India which even remotely resembles the kind of threat that we are facing today to the basics of India's constitution, to the basics of India, to the basics of any modern civilized democratic country. So this is why I wish you every success. Thank you all for inviting me to this Congress and giving me your precious time. Inqilab Zindabad, long live left unity.
Extending our thanks to Comrade Dipankar Bhattacharya for his speech. Now, I would invite Comrade Manoj